The human starship Aurora glided silently through the dark stretches of space. Stars sparkled like tiny diamonds against the black canvas. Commander Rin stood on the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the strange planet ahead. It was unlike any place humans had visited before. Towering mountains of metal and rock rose from the surface, and strange golden reflections shimmered under the distant sun. The planet was rumored to hold a labyrinth, and within it, a treasure of unimaginable value. Rin turned to her crew. They were a small team, chosen for their intelligence, courage, and skill. There was Mara, the engineer, who could fix anything from a damaged engine to a broken computer. Lio, the pilot, who could navigate even the most dangerous asteroid fields with ease. And Tova, the scientist, who could read alien signals and understand strange technology. Together, they were ready for the challenge. Approaching orbit, Lio reported, his voice calm but excited. The ship's instruments scanned the planet, showing energy fields that shifted unpredictably. The labyrinth is more active than expected. Sensors are picking up movement inside. It is like the place is alive. Rin's brow furrowed. We expected challenges, but we must be careful. This is not just a test of skill. It is a test of us as humans. The labyrinth is said to react to cleverness. It will try to trap those who act carelessly. The ship descended through the planet's thin atmosphere, and the surface came into view. The labyrinth stretched across a massive valley, walls rising higher than the tallest human buildings. Strange lights flickered within the structure, creating patterns that seemed to shift when the crew looked away. Rin felt a mix of excitement and caution. Humans had explored many worlds, but nothing like this had ever been seen before. They landed on a flat plateau near the labyrinth's entrance. The golden light reflected off the ship's hull, casting long shadows across the rocky ground. Rin led the team outside. The air was thin but breathable. Strange plants with luminous leaves grew between the rocks, and the ground hummed softly, as if the planet itself was alive. "Look at this," Tova said, bending to examine a plant that glowed like liquid gold. "It is not just light. It has energy. The labyrinth may use this energy to protect itself. We should expect traps, puzzles, or machines inside." Mara nodded, checking the equipment they had brought. "We have the tools to navigate. Sensors, drones, energy shields. If anything tries to harm us, we can respond quickly." Rin studied the labyrinth's entrance. It was a massive archway carved from golden rock, smooth yet impossibly strong. Strange symbols were etched along the walls. They glowed faintly when the team approached, then faded as if the structure were testing their presence. "Humans are clever," Rin said quietly. "But cleverness alone will not be enough. We must work together. The labyrinth may react to fear, doubt, or greed. We must keep our minds clear." The team stepped inside. The first chamber was vast, with walls that rose high above their heads. The floor was uneven, with stones that seemed to shift under their weight. Light came from strange crystals embedded in the walls, casting shadows that danced and moved like living creatures. As they walked deeper, the labyrinth seemed to respond. A low hum vibrated through the floor, and faint lines of golden energy appeared on the walls, forming patterns that shifted when the crew moved. Elio raised his hand. "It is watching us. Not like a person, but like it understands us." Rin nodded. "Then we must show it who we are. Humans are persistent. We are clever. And we will not give up." They continued, using small drones to map the passageways. The labyrinth was full of twists and turns, dead ends, and false paths. Some walls shifted slowly, closing corridors or opening new ones. It was clear that this place had been designed to test intruders, to see if they could think, observe, and adapt. Suddenly, a soft rumble shook the ground. A section of the wall slid open, revealing a glowing pathway. Mara stepped forward, examining the mechanism. It opens for a reason. Perhaps it wants us to go this way. Or perhaps it is a trap. Rin studied the glowing path. We will go. But carefully. Keep sensors active. Watch each step. Remember, the labyrinth is not just a physical challenge. It tests our minds. The team moved together, stepping lightly. The path led them to a chamber with a high ceiling. Strange symbols floated in the air, forming patterns that changed as they watched. Tova raised her scanner. These symbols are not just decoration. They are data, instructions. The labyrinth wants us to solve something. Rin smiled. Then we solve it. Humans are problem solvers. We will show this labyrinth that we are worthy. Hours passed as they explored the first section. They encountered moving floors, shifting walls, and energy barriers. Each obstacle required teamwork. Mara used her tools to stabilize moving platforms. Lio calculated safe paths through shifting corridors. Tova decoded symbols to unlock hidden doors. And Rin guided them, keeping focus and morale high. By the time they reached a central chamber near the entrance, the humans were tired but exhilarated. The walls glowed brighter, as if acknowledging their success. Rin looked at her team. We have passed the first test. But this is only the beginning. The labyrinth is far deeper, and the challenges will grow. We must stay clever, brave, and united. Outside, the wind from the plateau whispered through the rocks. The labyrinth remained still, but the golden glow hinted at the vast secrets hidden within. Humans had arrived, and already, they had begun to prove that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome even the most mysterious and dangerous challenges. Rin knew that the real adventure had only just begun. Beyond the walls, deeper into the labyrinth, waited tests that would push them to their limits. But humans were ready. They had faced the unknown before, and they would do it again. The labyrinth had awakened, and it had noticed them. And for the first time in centuries, it might have found worthy explorers. The humans stood at the threshold of the labyrinth's deeper passages. The golden walls shimmered under their lights, and strange symbols glowed faintly along the corridors. Every step seemed to echo, though the sound disappeared quickly, as if swallowed by the structure itself. Commander Rin took a deep breath and led the team forward. This place is alive, Tova whispered, scanning the walls with her portable device. The patterns are changing. It is not random. The labyrinth reacts to our presence. Lio adjusted his backpack and checked the map their drones had created. The pathways are constantly shifting. We have to be careful. One wrong step could leave us trapped. Mara nodded, her fingers moving over her tools. We can handle it. We just need to observe, plan, and move together. The team moved cautiously. The first corridor curved sharply, and the floor beneath them shifted slightly. Rin signaled for the others to stop. The stones beneath her boots had tilted upward, forming a small incline. She placed a hand on the wall, feeling a faint vibration. It tests balance and patience. Watch each step. They crossed the uneven path slowly, using ropes and stabilizers from their backpacks. When Mara reached the other side, she let out a quiet laugh. This is just a warm-up, I hope. The corridor opened into a larger chamber. The ceiling arched high above them, and the walls were covered in crystal-like formations that pulsed with golden light. Some formations floated in midair, held by energy that shimmered like thin glass. Tova examined the crystals carefully. These are not just decoration. They contain energy fields. If we touch them the wrong way, it could be dangerous. But if we study them, we might learn how the labyrinth works. Rin stepped forward. Then we observe. Humans are explorers. We learn from what we see, not just what we touch. They walked slowly, noting how the light shifted as they moved. Each crystal seemed to respond to their presence. Some formed pathways when the team approached, while others blocked corridors. It became clear that the labyrinth was testing more than physical skill, it was observing intelligence and attention. Suddenly, a low hum filled the chamber. The walls vibrated lightly, and the floor shifted beneath their feet. Lio stepped back, holding onto a floating crystal. We need to move carefully. The labyrinth is active. It reacts to motion, to thought, maybe even to hesitation. Rin studied the pattern. It is like a puzzle. The path is not fixed. We must read it, understand it, and act. Humans have done this before. We will do it again. The first real challenge appeared as they approached a wide gap in the floor. Across the chasm, a pathway of floating platforms hovered in the air. Some moved slowly, others tilted unpredictably. Mara tested a platform with her foot. It wobbled but held. We can cross if we time it carefully. Everyone ready? The team nodded. One by one, they stepped onto the platforms. Lio counted aloud, helping them coordinate. Tova scanned the energy fields around each platform, noting areas of stability. Rin moved last, making sure the path behind them remained secure. Halfway across, a platform tilted sharply. Mara's hand shot out, gripping the edge of the next platform. Rin reached her hand and pulled her up. Stay calm, Rin said. The labyrinth wants fear to make us fail. We stay steady, and we succeed. Once they crossed, the platforms retracted slowly, leaving the gap empty. The chamber seemed to hum in approval, the golden light brightening slightly. First trial passed, Lio said, breathing heavily. And it was only the beginning. As they continued, they entered a hall lined with mirrors. Each mirror reflected not only their images but also subtle illusions of movement. Shadows stretched and twisted, forming shapes that did not exist. Tova frowned. The labyrinth is trying to confuse us. It uses reflections to test perception. If we rely only on what we see, we could get lost. Rin nodded. We rely on reasoning, observation, and trust in each other. Move slowly and communicate. Humans are clever. We see through tricks. They moved in pairs, calling out their positions. Mara tapped each mirror lightly. Some mirrors shifted, revealing hidden doors or safe pathways. Others reflected harmless illusions. The labyrinth seemed to respond positively to careful analysis and teamwork. After the mirror hall, they entered a chamber filled with shifting walls. Narrow passageways opened and closed, forming new patterns constantly. The team had to navigate like a living maze, predicting movements and timing their steps. This is a test of strategy, Mara said, examining the walls. We cannot force a path. We must think, plan, and adapt. Rin led the team, keeping mental notes of every turn and timing each movement. Lio's quick thinking and Mara's tools helped stabilize sections temporarily, while Tova's observations guided them through the safest path. Slowly, step by step, they advanced deeper into the labyrinth. At the chamber's end, they reached a large door. Strange glyphs glowed faintly, forming patterns that shifted when touched. Tova scanned the symbols. These are instructions. The labyrinth wants us to solve something before it allows passage. It is testing our logic. Rin studied the patterns. Humans are problem solvers. We will show it how we think. Observe, try, and adjust. That is what makes us strong. Together, they deciphered the symbols, aligning them in a logical sequence. When the last symbol was said, the door opened silently, revealing a deeper passage. A soft golden light poured through, inviting them forward. The team paused, taking a moment to rest. Their bodies were tired from constant attention and careful movements, but their spirits were high. The labyrinth had presented its first serious challenges, and the humans had succeeded by using their intelligence, courage, and teamwork. Rin looked at the glowing path ahead. This is just the beginning. The labyrinth will test us more, push us harder. But we are human. We adapt, we learn, and we succeed. Stay focused. Stay together. And we will reach the gold beyond this place. The soft hum of the labyrinth filled the passage as they moved forward. Each step was cautious, measured, and filled with determination. The walls shifted gently, almost guiding them deeper into the structure. Outside the labyrinth, the planet seemed calm, but within, the golden light hinted at the mysteries waiting further inside. Humans had entered a place designed to challenge every skill, every thought, and every instinct. They had passed the first trials and proved themselves worthy so far. Ren knew that the true tests were still ahead. Beyond the shifting floors, illusions, and puzzles, the labyrinth held secrets of incredible value. It would take courage, intelligence, and unity to reach them. But humans were ready. They had shown cleverness, resilience, and trust. And these qualities would carry them further than any labyrinth, no matter how ancient or mysterious. The golden walls glowed brighter as they moved deeper, and the labyrinth seemed to acknowledge their presence. The journey had begun, and the first steps had already proven that humans were not just explorers, they were clever, determined, and unafraid of the unknown. The deeper corridors of the labyrinth grew darker, though the golden walls still shimmered faintly. Commander Rin led her team cautiously. Every step seemed heavier than the last. The air vibrated softly, as if the planet itself were breathing. They had passed the first tests of the labyrinth, but the sense of challenge ahead made them alert. "This part of the labyrinth feels different," Tova whispered, scanning the walls with her device. "The energy is stronger here. It is like something is watching us. Not sensors or traps. Something alive." Lio tightened his grip on his equipment. "I thought the moving walls and mirrors were hard. This feels like a real test." Mara checked the drones and tools. "We can handle it. Just stay focused. Observe, adapt, and move together. That is how we beat any challenge." The corridor opened into a massive chamber. The ceiling arched high above, and the golden walls pulsed with energy. From the shadows emerged shapes that moved with speed and precision. They were guardians, machines created long ago to protect the labyrinth. Their bodies glowed faintly, like molten metal, and they had multiple limbs designed for quick, exact movements. Ren froze for a moment, studying them. "We face the first real guardians. They are not traps. They are intelligent. They will test us directly." The guardians advanced cautiously, their movements calculated and deliberate. They did not attack immediately. Instead, they observed the humans, tilting their heads and scanning with bright, glowing eyes. Tova whispered, "They respond to thought. They are not mindless. They may test our intelligence rather than strength." Ren nodded. "Then we must be clever. Humans have always found a way when facing something smarter than themselves. Watch their patterns. Find the weakness." Mara set up a small device to create a temporary barrier. The guardians paused, examining it. It became clear that the labyrinth wanted the humans to solve the challenge through skill and planning, not force. Lio moved slowly, using a small drone to analyze the guardians' movement. "They respond to our actions. If we move too quickly, they adjust. If we act carefully, we can guide them." The humans observed closely. One guardian moved forward, then retreated, testing the space in front of them. Another followed a curved path, avoiding obstacles with perfect timing. Ren realized the labyrinth was teaching them through these movements. "Humans are clever," she said softly. "We can match their intelligence. But we must work as one. Each of us has a role." They split tasks carefully. Mara monitored mechanical weaknesses in the Guardians' movements. Tova analyzed the energy fields surrounding them. Lio coordinated timing, ensuring each human step would not trigger unnecessary attention. Ren led the team, using observation and intuition to predict Guardian movements. The first challenge was a narrow corridor. A guardian blocked the path, its multiple limbs moving to cover the space. Rin watched. When the guardian paused, she signaled Lio to move a drone ahead. The machine reacted, shifting slightly to follow the drone's movement. Using this pattern, the humans advanced carefully, each step timed perfectly. Mara noticed a pattern in the energy pulses. They react faster when we move in a straight line. We can use angles, curves, and hesitation to guide them without confrontation. Rin directed the team through a series of maneuvers. They moved like dancers, weaving between guardians, observing patterns, and adapting continuously. The guardians adjusted, but the humans adapted faster. Step by step, they made their way through the chamber without direct conflict. Then, the labyrinth presented a new challenge. A guardian released a pulse of energy that formed a barrier ahead. The humans could not move forward without interacting with it. Tova examined the energy. It responds to patterns of thought and action. If we act too quickly, it will repel us. We need to solve it carefully. Rin studied the barrier. We can do this. Humans are problem solvers. Observe the rhythm, match it, and adjust. Timing is everything. Mara adjusted her tools to emit pulses that mirrored the Guardian's energy pattern. Lio moved drones to test the response, while Tova calculated the correct sequence. Together, they formed a rhythm that the Guardian recognized. The barrier faded slowly, allowing passage. The Guardian stepped aside, almost acknowledging the human's cleverness. Rin smiled. We have passed the first test of intelligence. The labyrinth is teaching us, and we are learning fast. Humans are not just strong or brave. We are smart, resourceful, and adaptable. The team paused to rest briefly, but the labyrinth offered no comfort. The walls hummed softly, and shadows shifted. Rin reminded everyone to stay alert. The guardians may return or new challenges may appear. Do not assume the path is easy now. Each victory is only one step closer to the heart of the labyrinth. Deeper chambers opened before them. Golden light reflected off crystal formations and flowing energy lines. The guardians followed at a distance, observing but not interfering further. The humans moved carefully, using the knowledge they had gained. They realized the labyrinth tested not only cleverness but also patience, unity, and trust in each other. Lio paused to look back. We have made it this far. And the guardians have not attacked us. They respect cleverness. I think the labyrinth is showing that it wants more than just physical strength. It wants intelligence, teamwork, and persistence. Rin nodded. Humans have faced impossible challenges before. We solve puzzles, adapt, and succeed. These guardians are strong, precise, and clever. But we are stronger when we work together. That is the difference. The team continued, facing small tests along the way. Guardians occasionally moved to block passages, but each time, the humans used observation, planning, and clever tools to pass. It was exhausting, but every success reinforced their confidence. Hours passed in careful movement and observation. The humans learned the rhythm of the labyrinth and the guardians' behavior. It was a dance of intelligence, testing every skill they possessed. The labyrinth seemed to respond positively, golden light pulsing brighter as the humans proved themselves worthy. Finally, the chamber opened into a larger space, glowing with light from golden crystals embedded in the walls. The guardians remained at the edge, observing silently. Rin looked at her team. We have passed a major test. The guardians acknowledge our intelligence. But the labyrinth is not finished. Deeper challenges await. We must remain clever, united, and courageous. The humans took a moment to rest. Their bodies ached from careful movement, but their spirits were stronger than ever. They had faced living guardians and passed through without confrontation. It was proof that humans were not just explorers, they were problem solvers, capable of matching intelligence with skill. Rin gazed at the golden light ahead. The labyrinth is teaching us. It wants to see what humans are made of. Strength, courage, cleverness, and unity. We have shown we possess all these. But the heart of the labyrinth is still ahead. The real treasure is waiting for those who can think, adapt, and endure. As the team moved forward into the next passage, the Guardians stepped back into the shadows, silently acknowledging the human's skill. The labyrinth hummed with energy, almost alive, guiding them toward challenges that would test not just their bodies, but their minds and teamwork. The journey had grown more dangerous and complex, but the humans had proven one undeniable truth: when facing challenges beyond imagination, humans were clever, resourceful, and capable of overcoming even the most intelligent guardians. The golden walls pulsed gently, and the labyrinth seemed to whisper promises of further trials and rewards. The humans had entered a place meant to test the limits of any being. They had faced living machines designed to challenge the mind. And they had succeeded. Ren knew that the path ahead would be even more difficult, but the humans were ready. They had faced guardians, solved problems, and worked together. And beyond this chamber, deeper into the labyrinth, awaited tests that would demand even greater courage, intelligence, and unity. The golden light ahead shone brighter, inviting them forward. The labyrinth had accepted them, but it had more to teach. Humans had taken their first real steps in the heart of the challenge, and they were prepared to prove their worth again and again. The humans moved forward, their steps echoing softly through the golden corridors. The walls pulsed faintly with energy, as if the labyrinth itself were aware of every move. After passing the guardians, the team felt a mixture of relief and alertness. They had proven themselves capable of intelligence and observation, but now the labyrinth seemed to promise an even more subtle challenge. The corridor opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling arched high above, and strange symbols were etched into the walls. The symbols glowed softly in shades of gold and green. In the center of the chamber, a circular platform floated above the ground. As the team approached, an ethereal voice filled the space. Humans have reached this place. To move forward, the mind must solve what the eyes and hands cannot touch. Solve the riddle, or remain within. The voice faded, leaving an echo that made the chamber feel alive. Ren stepped forward and studied the symbols carefully. It is not a trap. It is a puzzle. The labyrinth is testing our logic, teamwork, and perception. We solve it together, and we continue. Tova examined the symbols. They are not random. Each pattern connects to another. I think they form a sequence. If we understand the logic, we can unlock the platform. Mara moved closer to inspect the platform itself. It was smooth and golden, with thin lines of energy running across its surface. The lines shifted when they approached, forming shapes that seemed almost alive. The platform reacts to thought and movement. It is intelligent in its own way. We must be precise. Lio took a step back, observing the symbols and lines. This is a test of reasoning and coordination. If we act randomly, we will fail. We need a plan, a pattern, and focus. Ren nodded. Humans have always faced puzzles and challenges that required clever thinking. We will do the same here. Let us divide tasks. Tova, study the symbols and find the sequence. Mara, analyze the platform and its energy flow. Lio, observe patterns and timing. I will coordinate our actions and ensure we act together. They moved carefully, each focusing on their task. Tova's eyes scanned the glowing symbols. She noticed subtle connections, lines that moved slightly, shapes that repeated in cycles. The symbols are a sequence. They follow logic. If we align them with the energy lines on the platform, it may activate. Mara studied the platform, noting that some lines responded to weight and touch while others reacted to timing. We cannot just step anywhere. We must step at the right moment and in the correct order. The platform is alive in a sense. It tests coordination and patience. Lio observed patterns in the light pulses. The timing is consistent. There is a rhythm. If we follow it and match the sequence, the platform should respond. Ren listened and watched carefully. Then we act together. Precision, timing, and understanding. That is what humans excel at. Each of us has a role. We move as one. They began the challenge. Tova called out the sequence she had discovered. Mara guided the steps, suggesting precise timing. Lio synchronized their movement with the rhythm of the energy pulses. Ren coordinated, ensuring that each step and action matched perfectly. At first, the platform trembled slightly but did not move. They adjusted their timing, observing carefully. The symbols glowed brighter as they made small corrections. The labyrinth responded to their cleverness and cooperation. Step by step, the platform rose slightly, responding to their coordinated actions. The glow of the symbols intensified. The labyrinth seemed pleased with their precision. A sudden test appeared, a shift in the energy lines created a temporary gap in the sequence. Mara called out quickly, "Hold. Adjust your timing. Wait for the next pulse." The team paused for a heartbeat. Then, following the rhythm perfectly, they stepped in the correct sequence. The platform solidified, rising smoothly into position. The symbols around the chamber shone brightly, forming a complete circle of glowing patterns. The ethereal voice spoke again. "Humans have shown cleverness, patience, and teamwork. You have solved the riddle. Move forward, for greater challenges await." The platform transformed into a stable bridge leading to another corridor. The humans stepped onto it carefully, moving as a single unit. The chamber behind them shifted, the glowing symbols fading slowly. It was clear that the labyrinth respected cleverness and unity. Ren looked at her team. "We have learned an important lesson. The labyrinth tests the mind as much as the body. Strength alone is not enough. Intelligence, patience, and teamwork carry us further." Tova smiled. "It is amazing. The labyrinth reacts to our actions, our reasoning. Every step matters. We are not just walking forward. We are thinking forward." Lio added, "We have proven that humans are clever and adaptable. The labyrinth is designed to challenge the greatest minds. We are showing it what humans are capable of." Mara looked around at the glowing chamber. "Every puzzle, every challenge strengthens us. We learn, we adapt, we succeed. That is why we are different. The labyrinth tests, but we respond. Humans are persistent and clever." As they crossed the bridge, the walls shifted, revealing a corridor that descended deeper into the labyrinth. The golden light dimmed slightly, but the energy was stronger, almost vibrating underfoot. Ren knew that deeper trials awaited. The team moved carefully. The corridor narrowed, forcing them to walk in a line. They remained silent for a moment, listening to the faint hum of the labyrinth. Every step was measured, every movement precise. Suddenly, the corridor opened into another chamber. This one was filled with floating crystals, glowing softly. The crystals shifted positions, forming new patterns constantly. Ren realized that this was a continuation of the riddle challenge, but more complex. The labyrinth was testing adaptability and observation in a dynamic environment. "Observe first," Ren said quietly. "Do not rush. The crystals move, but they follow patterns. Watch and understand. Then act together." Tova began to study the crystals, noting the sequence of movement. Mara calculated safe paths, while Lio observed the energy pulses. Ren coordinated their actions, calling out timing and direction. The team moved carefully, stepping from crystal to crystal. Each step required attention, coordination, and patience. If they miscalculated, the crystal shifted, and they had to adjust quickly. Hours seemed to pass as they navigated the moving crystals. Their bodies were tired, but their minds were sharp. Each step reinforced the importance of teamwork and clever observation. The labyrinth was a teacher, guiding them to use every skill they possessed. Finally, the crystals formed a stable path leading to a glowing doorway. The chamber brightened, the energy pulsing in approval of their success. Rin looked at her team with pride. We have solved the riddle, mastered the moving crystals, and worked together. The labyrinth recognizes our skill. But we must remain focused. The challenges ahead will demand even more. As they stepped through the doorway, the golden light grew stronger. The labyrinth seemed to acknowledge their persistence and intelligence. Humans had proven that cleverness, patience, and teamwork could overcome even the most complex challenges. Rin took a deep breath. We are ready for what comes next. The gold beyond the labyrinth is closer. But the labyrinth will continue to test us. We will continue to learn, adapt, and succeed. The team moved forward, stronger and more confident than before. They had solved the riddle chamber, proving their intelligence and unity. The labyrinth had recognized their cleverness, but the journey was far from over. Beyond the glowing doorway lay new corridors, deeper challenges, and greater mysteries. Humans had shown that they could face puzzles, guardians, and shifting paths with skill and determination. The heart of the labyrinth awaited, and they were ready to prove their worth once more. The humans stepped through the glowing doorway and found themselves in a new chamber. The light here was dim, soft, and silver. The walls shimmered, but it was difficult to tell if the shimmer came from the walls themselves or the faint mist that floated across the floor. The air was cooler, and every sound seemed to echo strangely. Rin led the team cautiously. This place feels different. The labyrinth is testing not only our minds but our senses. Stay alert. Tova nodded. The shadows move strangely. They do not always match the objects they come from. I think the labyrinth is trying to confuse us. Lio observed the shadows closely. It is like a mirror world, but the mirror is alive. We must trust our instincts and not be tricked by what we see. Mara stepped carefully. We must move slowly and together. The floor might change, the shadows might shift. One wrong step could separate us or lead us into danger. As they progressed, the chamber seemed to stretch endlessly. Shadows formed figures that resembled creatures and objects, but when the team approached, the shapes changed. Sometimes the shadows appeared helpful, forming paths or pointing toward openings. Other times they seemed threatening, appearing as walls or obstacles that were not really there. Rin paused. This is a test of perception. We must see beyond the surface and recognize what is real and what is an illusion. Trust your mind, but also trust each other. Tova studied the moving shadows. I notice a pattern. Some shadows repeat their movements every few moments. Others are random. If we follow the repeating ones, we may find the correct path. Lio added, the labyrinth wants to see our patience. If we rush, we will follow the wrong shadows and get lost. We must observe, wait, and move carefully. Mara led the first step, testing the floor ahead. When a shadow shifted unexpectedly, she stopped and signaled the others. Wait. That shadow is false. The floor beyond is safe. Step slowly. The team moved in silence, each step deliberate. Every movement required attention. The shadows twisted, forming shapes that tempted or misled them. Yet, by working together and observing the repeating patterns, the humans advanced steadily. After some time, the chamber grew darker. The shadows became more intense, stretching across the walls and ceiling. Figures appeared that resembled strange animals, strange people, and even themselves. Rin felt the subtle pressure of fear creeping in, but she reminded herself of their previous successes. We have faced puzzles, moving platforms, and complex sequences. This is another challenge. Focus on logic and observation. Do not let fear cloud your mind. Tova noticed a large shadow resembling a doorway. It seems to be the exit, but its movements are irregular. We should wait and see the pattern before stepping. The team paused, watching as the shadow shifted and stretched. It repeated a sequence of 3 movements before returning to its original shape. Ren timed the team's movement with the shadow sequence, and together, they stepped forward in perfect synchronization. The shadow dissolved as they passed through it, confirming their choice. Ren smiled. The labyrinth tests our patience and observation. We have passed this part by being careful and coordinated. As they advanced further, the shadows grew even more complex. Some created false corridors, others hid the real path behind layers of light and mist. Every turn required careful attention and discussion among the team. Lio spoke quietly. The shadows may also be testing our teamwork. If we split up, each person may follow a different illusion. We must stay together and communicate. Mara agreed. Every shadow that seems threatening can be ignored if we see the pattern. Focus on what repeats and what makes sense. The labyrinth respects those who think and observe. Hours passed as they moved through the trial of shadows. Their minds were tested as much as their courage. Sometimes they were tempted to take shortcuts, but the illusions corrected them, leading them back to the proper path. The labyrinth seemed alive, teaching and challenging at every step. Tova pointed to a large shadow that seemed to pulse with light. That one is different. It is consistent, and its movements match the pattern of safe passages we have seen. I think it is guiding us toward the end of this trial. Ren nodded. Then we follow carefully. Step by step, as we have done before. Watch each other, watch the shadows, and remain calm. The team moved forward, guided by the pulsing shadow. As they approached it, the figure stretched and then split into multiple forms, each showing a possible path. Ren realized that the labyrinth was testing decision-making under pressure. Choose the path with the clearest pattern, Ren instructed. Do not rush, do not hesitate. Trust observation and logic. Mara led the way, stepping along the correct pattern. The others followed closely, maintaining the rhythm of movement and attention. The shadows shifted around them, some trying to block their path, but the team continued steadily. Finally, the chamber opened into a brighter space. The silver light softened into a warm, golden glow. The shadows disappeared, and the walls of the labyrinth shimmered peacefully. The team had passed the trial of shadows. Ren looked around with relief and pride. The labyrinth has tested our perception, patience, and teamwork. We have learned to trust each other and our minds. That is the true reward of this trial. Tova smiled. The shadows were difficult, but they also taught us to observe carefully and act thoughtfully. Humans can adapt to complex challenges and see through illusions. Lio added, we have proven our courage and intelligence. The labyrinth recognizes persistence and careful thought. Every step was important, every choice mattered. Mara nodded. We have faced illusions and doubts and succeeded by remaining calm and focused. That is why humans can overcome even the most confusing trials. The team moved forward through the newly revealed corridor. The golden light grew stronger, and the air felt warmer. The labyrinth had acknowledged their skill and cleverness, but Ren knew that even greater challenges awaited deeper inside. The trial of shadows is complete, Ren said. We have learned the importance of perception, patience, and teamwork. The labyrinth is not against us. It is teaching us. We must remain ready for the next challenge. As they advanced, the corridor widened, revealing symbols and structures that hinted at ancient secrets. The energy of the labyrinth vibrated with intelligence, waiting for the humans to prove themselves once again. The team moved carefully, stronger and wiser after the trial of shadows. They had faced illusions, confusion, and uncertainty, and they had succeeded through observation, logic, and unity. The goal beyond the labyrinth was closer, and the humans were ready for the challenges that lay ahead. Ren led them forward, knowing that each trial was a test of mind and heart. The labyrinth was alive, but humans were clever, adaptable, and persistent. Together, they would reach the heart of the labyrinth and discover the treasure that awaited. The humans walked through the corridor, the golden glow of the labyrinth growing brighter with every step. The air was filled with a soft hum, like the heartbeat of a living machine. Rin felt a mix of anticipation and caution. The trial of shadows had tested their perception and patience. Now, they were approaching something greater, something that radiated power and challenge. As they entered a vast chamber, their eyes widened. A figure of pure light stood in the center. It was taller than any human, its form shimmering and constantly shifting, as if made of countless stars. Its presence was strong, and its gaze seemed to pierce through the mind. The humans instinctively slowed, sensing the enormity of the challenge before them. The figure spoke, its voice echoing like music. Humans have reached this place. To pass, you must show courage, wisdom, and strength. Only those who understand the balance of mind and heart may proceed. Ren stepped forward. We are ready. We have faced challenges of the mind and spirit. We are prepared to prove our worth. Tova studied the figure. It is not just a guardian. It is a test itself. We must think carefully about our actions. Brute force alone will not help. Lio added, its light can be blinding, and its movements are swift. We must observe patterns, anticipate actions, and act together. Unity is our strength. Mara nodded. We must stay calm and focused. Courage and intelligence must guide every step. The Guardian of Light moved. A wave of energy pulsed from its form, forcing the humans to step back. The light was intense, but not harmful. It seemed to test their reactions, seeing if they could remain composed under pressure. Ren spoke firmly. Stand your ground. Observe. Do not act rashly. The labyrinth respects those who think before they move. The Guardian advanced with a graceful motion. Shadows of light stretched across the chamber, forming shapes that resembled obstacles, paths, and creatures. The humans realized that each movement of the Guardian created tests. Some were illusions, while others were real challenges requiring agility, timing, and courage. Tova whispered, we need a plan. Watch its movements, anticipate the patterns, and move together. Each action must be deliberate. Ren agreed. We will face the challenges as a team. Mara, lead our movements through the obstacles. Lio, watch the patterns and guide our timing. Tova, analyze the Guardian's actions and warn us of danger. I will coordinate and ensure our unity. The humans began their careful advance. Every step was measured. They avoided beams of light that could push them back or trap them. They moved in synchronization, helping each other across the shifting paths of energy. The Guardian of Light observed silently, occasionally shifting its form to create new patterns and tests. Suddenly, a burst of light formed a wall between them and the far side of the chamber. The wall pulsed with energy. Mara quickly noticed the pattern in the pulse. Step now. Follow the rhythm. Move carefully across the safe zones. Ren signaled. The team moved together, stepping only when the energy lines allowed. Each step required trust, courage, and precise timing. The wall of light shifted and pulsed again, but their coordination allowed them to pass safely. The Guardian of Light watched. Its form shimmered with approval, then expanded, creating multiple paths filled with challenges. Some paths seemed easier, but illusions hid dangers. Others were more difficult, requiring agility, observation, and courage. Tova pointed to the most complex path. This one is dangerous, but it is the only path that leads to the next chamber. We must be careful, but we must not turn back. Lio nodded. We move together. Trust in observation and courage. We have overcome every challenge so far, and this will be no different. The team advanced through the path. The Guardian of Light's pulses created shifting platforms, moving beams, and walls of energy. Every step required balance, timing, and trust in each other. The humans supported one another, combining their skills and intelligence to navigate the trial. At one point, the Guardian formed a series of floating orbs of light. The orbs blocked their path, moving in patterns that could confuse or separate them. Rin observed quickly. Step on the safe orbs only. Watch the pattern and move as one. Do not let fear guide your steps. Mara led the team carefully, jumping and stepping from orb to orb. Lio called out timing cues, while Tova warned of changing movements. Rin coordinated their rhythm. Step by step, they passed the challenge, their teamwork overcoming the Guardian's complex design. Finally, the humans reached the center of the chamber. The Guardian of Light's form expanded fully, filling the space with radiant energy. The air was warm, the hum of power resonating in their chests. The figure spoke again. You have shown courage, intelligence, and unity. You have faced trials of perception, patience, and agility. You have proven that humans possess qualities worthy of the Labyrinth's treasure. Proceed, for the heart of the Labyrinth awaits. Rin bowed slightly. We thank you for the trial. We have learned much, and we are ready to continue. The Guardian of Light shimmered and slowly dissolved into beams of golden light. The energy in the chamber shifted, revealing a massive doorway ahead. The walls glowed softly, guiding them forward. The humans stepped toward it carefully, their hearts filled with determination. Tova looked around. Every challenge has taught us something. The trial of shadows taught patience. The riddle chamber taught teamwork. This trial taught courage and unity. We are stronger than before. Lio added, the Guardian's test was not about strength alone. It tested observation, intelligence, and trust. Humans are clever, adaptable, and brave. That is why we succeeded. Mara smiled. We have proven ourselves. The Labyrinth respects skill, courage, and persistence. Every step mattered, and we have earned the right to move forward. Rin led the team through the golden doorway. Beyond it, the air shimmered with energy, and a soft glow hinted at the treasure that lay ahead. The humans had faced the Guardian of Light, overcoming its challenges with intelligence, courage, and unity. They had proven themselves ready for the final chamber. Soon, we will reach the heart of the Labyrinth, Rin said. The gold beyond the Labyrinth is close. But we must remain vigilant. The final challenges may test everything we have learned. The team moved together, stronger, wiser, and more confident. The Labyrinth had tested mind, body, and spirit, but humans had shown persistence, cleverness, and courage. The treasure awaited, and they were ready to claim it. As the golden corridor stretched ahead, Rin smiled. This is the moment we have prepared for. We have faced every trial with unity and intelligence. The heart of the Labyrinth is before us, and we will succeed together. The humans walked forward, their steps echoing in the glowing corridor. The Labyrinth was alive, intelligent, and challenging. Yet humans had proven that through courage, observation, and teamwork, no trial was too great. The final chamber awaited, and with it, the gold beyond the Labyrinth. The golden corridor stretched ahead, glowing warmly, guiding the humans toward the heart of the Labyrinth. The air was thick with energy, gentle yet powerful, as if the Labyrinth itself was alive and watching. Rin led the team with steady steps, feeling both anticipation and caution. They had faced many trials, and the ultimate challenge lay just ahead. Tova whispered, "We are close. I can feel it. The energy here is different. It is strong but welcoming. The treasure is near, but there may be one last test." Lio studied the walls, observing the faint symbols glowing softly. The Labyrinth has left clues in its design. Every trial we passed prepared us for this moment. We must stay alert and work together to understand what lies ahead. Mara nodded. We have learned patience, courage, and teamwork. We can face whatever comes next. Nothing can stop us if we stay united. As they approached a massive chamber, the golden light expanded, filling the room completely. In the center, a pedestal rose from the floor, and on it rested a chest of pure gold. The chest shimmered, reflecting the golden light that filled the chamber. Around the pedestal, intricate symbols glowed, forming a pattern that seemed alive. Ren stepped forward carefully. This is it. The heart of the labyrinth. The gold beyond the labyrinth is here, but the symbols may be another test. We must pay attention. Tova examined the glowing patterns. They are not just decorations. They move slightly, almost as if they respond to our presence. The labyrinth may be testing our understanding one last time. Lio studied the pedestal. I think we must act together to unlock it. The trials taught us patience, courage, observation, and teamwork. Perhaps this is the moment to combine all we have learned. Mara placed her hand on the pedestal, feeling the energy pulse. The symbols respond to touch and thought. We must focus and act as one, not individually. Rin nodded. Everyone, focus. Think clearly, trust each other, and follow the patterns we have learned. The labyrinth will open the chest if we demonstrate unity and intelligence. The team closed their eyes for a moment, centering themselves. They remembered the lessons from each trial. The trial of shadows taught observation, the riddle chamber taught teamwork, and the guardian of light taught courage and trust. Each skill was needed now. Slowly, they placed their hands together on the pedestal. The symbols reacted immediately, glowing brighter, forming new shapes. A low hum filled the chamber, vibrating in their chests, a sound that felt both ancient and alive. The chest began to lift slightly, hovering above the pedestal. Golden light radiated outward, illuminating the walls and ceiling. Ren watched carefully, noticing that the patterns of symbols were changing as they moved. The labyrinth was responding to their actions, testing if they remained focused and coordinated. Tova spoke calmly. The chest is rising. Keep your focus steady. Do not pull away. Think together, move together. Lio guided the timing. The symbols form a sequence. Follow the order as it appears. Step lightly, adjust your position, and maintain your focus. Mara smiled, feeling the connection between them and the labyrinth. We have learned everything the labyrinth wanted to teach. Now it is time to receive the reward. Trust the process. The chest slowly descended back onto the pedestal, but this time it opened on its own. Inside, the humans saw not only gold coins but also artifacts of knowledge, ancient devices, and glowing crystals. The gold sparkled, but the other treasures seemed more extraordinary. Each item held energy, wisdom, and insight, as if the labyrinth itself had stored centuries of knowledge and achievement. Ren reached into the chest carefully, lifting a golden coin. It shone brightly in her hand, but she immediately felt a deeper awareness of the labyrinth's purpose. This treasure was more than wealth. It was a reward for intelligence, courage, and unity. Tova examined a crystal, noticing it emitted a soft glow that seemed to communicate patterns and ideas. The labyrinth's true gift is understanding. Gold is visible, but the lessons and knowledge we have gained are more valuable. The labyrinth has chosen us because we proved our minds and hearts. Lio held a small device from the chest, feeling its energy. Every trial prepared us for this. The gold is a reward, but the labyrinth also gives wisdom and insight. Humans are clever and capable, and this proves it. Mara smiled at her friends. We have succeeded together. We faced fear, illusions, and tests that could have separated us. But we worked as one. That is why the labyrinth has welcomed us to its heart. Ren stood and looked around the chamber, feeling the golden energy fill her. The labyrinth has shown that courage, intelligence, and unity are what truly lead to success. Gold can be taken, but the lessons and teamwork we share are priceless. As they explored the treasures, the labyrinth's energy seemed to respond to their actions. Symbols glowed when they touched artifacts carefully, and patterns formed on the walls, as if the labyrinth was acknowledging their achievement. Tova spoke softly. The labyrinth is alive, but it is not a threat. It is a teacher. It tests, challenges, and rewards those who are clever, brave, and united. Lio added, "We have learned that human qualities are extraordinary. Curiosity, courage, and teamwork can overcome even the most complex challenges." Mara placed her hand on the pedestal, feeling the hum of energy. "We must remember these lessons. The labyrinth will continue to challenge others, but humans are capable of facing anything if we remain clever and united." Rin nodded. "We have reached the gold beyond the labyrinth, but the true treasure is not only gold. It is knowledge, courage, teamwork, and the proof that humans can rise to any challenge. This is what the labyrinth has given us, and it is priceless." The team gathered the gold and artifacts carefully, leaving the chamber orderly as a sign of respect. The labyrinth seemed to hum with satisfaction, its energy gentle and approving. As they exited the heart of the labyrinth, the golden corridor gradually faded into the familiar passageways they had traversed before. The lessons of the labyrinth stayed with them, strong and clear. They had faced shadows, riddles, and guardians of light. They had worked as one, using intelligence, courage, and unity. Rin looked at her team, proud and grateful. "We have completed the labyrinth. We have learned its lessons, faced its trials, and earned its rewards. The gold is a symbol, but the real treasure is what we have gained together." Tova smiled. "The labyrinth tested everything we had, but we succeeded. We are stronger and wiser than before. Humans can achieve greatness through courage, intelligence, and unity." Lio nodded. Every step, every challenge, every decision mattered. "We have proven that humans are capable of more than we imagine. The labyrinth has recognized that." Mara added, "We leave the labyrinth with treasure, knowledge, and lessons that will guide us in the future. We have grown together, and that is the greatest reward of all." The team walked together toward the exit, carrying the gold and treasures, hearts full of pride and understanding. The labyrinth had tested them to the limits of mind, body, and spirit. They had succeeded, proving that humans could overcome even the most challenging trials with intelligence, courage, and unity. Outside, the sunlight greeted them, warm and welcoming. The labyrinth behind them shimmered, a living monument of challenge, wisdom, and reward. The humans looked at each other, knowing that their journey had changed them forever. Rin spoke softly, "The gold beyond the labyrinth is not only wealth. It is proof that cleverness, courage, and unity can overcome any obstacle. We have learned its secrets, and we carry its lessons into the world." The team smiled, their hearts light and strong. They had completed the labyrinth, faced every trial, and earned their reward. The gold was beyond the labyrinth, but so was the knowledge, the courage, and the proof that humans could rise to any challenge. Together, they walked into the sunlight, ready for the adventures that awaited, carrying the treasure and the lessons of the labyrinth forever in their hearts.